Welcome back to this week's edition of the Steel Show. Yotes fans, really excited to be in the office with Coach Mike Moroski again, coming off of a big win against Arizona Christian. So, Coach, jumping into the game, obviously a huge day for the offense for you guys. Really got it going early, like you've talked about in these past couple weeks, of getting going fast, and certainly a huge day out of the passing game. Andy Peters and the receivers. So, just talk about what you were pleased with out of the passing game this week.
Yeah, I think it was that, and of course, the passing game is 11 guys. I mean, great protection, and Andy was phenomenal, and the receivers are playing at a high level. We're hats off to our offensive coordinator Brian Taylor and Eric Hernandez and Braden Bale, our offensive line coach. Eric's coaching our receivers, just doing really good stuff. Creative, fun, getting the guys. So much of the passing game, just getting the right guys in the right position, or doing a variety of things, and we're really doing that at a high level, maybe better than we ever have. So Brock Richardson obviously caught a couple balls, but we had to figure out how to get it to him. Travis Mariero's playing well. Tommy Hauser's doing great stuff. Jace Appleby is kind of the unsung steady Eddie guy. He just finds a way. Scored the first touchdown on a well designed naked play, and then John Krebs has been one of the best players we've ever had. So he's that's a lot of production out of those guys. So that's exciting. It's fun. Offensive line wise, we lost Ashton Patterson for the season, so that was tough in the previous week. So we've had to mix and match, and just this time of year, that's the way football is. Guys are banged up. So Brett Giddison, who's played left tackle, right tackle, played center in the semifinal game last year. He started at left guard, and but he's one of those guys, and he gripes and moans about it a little bit, but because you'd love to be in your position and all that, and lock down the left side as the left tackle, but he's got a great attitude, and just the way that permeates through that group, I thought we were very well prepared for Arizona Christian, and so it was really impressive. I mean, so all that to say, Andy Peters deserves a lot of the credit. But Andy's the first one to say, and just the way football is, it has to be the whole unit involved and playing at a high level. So it was really exciting that way to get on them, because as you know, they gave us a little bit of trouble on with their offense.
Yeah, absolutely. And Coach, can you talk really quick about, what it's like to mix and match in the O-line? Because it's not just the Yotes, right? Like you said, teams across the country at every level, you get to this part of the season and later, that's just part of the game, is mix and match in the O-line. But I'm sure it can be a level of an inexact science. So, what is it like? What's the thought process when you're trying to move guys around? And ultimately, you're just trying to find that best five, but they have to be able to work together as a unit. And not every guy has the skill set for every position. So what is that like to mix and match?
It's tough. It's tough. And we've never really had to do it a lot until these last couple of years. So maybe that's just the nature of the game, and to be able to do it is kind of a luxury. Just that you have the flexibility, that you have talented guys. I mean, I believe in recruiting athletic offensive linemen. Certainly not everybody can play tackle, but sometimes tackles can move in and play inside. So we decided, are we going to move Nate McClellan inside, who's a true freshman, been playing very well at tackle, or do we move Brett, who's at least played inside some? There's also the trust issue too, where you have to trust your backups. We got backups who are practicing hard and they're ready to go, and so they feel slighted too. So there's all these dynamics that you work into the thing, but even our backups aren't healthy, like you'd like. So it's a challenge, but you see the pro teams do it all the time. So I've become more open to it in terms of, we move guys around a little bit in the spring, and so there's all sorts of guys getting reps at tackle, and it kind of helps the overall spatial awareness too. So for all those guys, so I think a lot of things have contributed to us being able to be successful. I'm most hopeful that we'll be able to stay healthy.
Of course.
So Brett will again play a little bit of guard this week. So Hopefully not too much, but maybe a little bit more than last week.
Absolutely. So, well, that's great. And again, great performance out of those guys, especially in that pass pro. And moving on to the defensive side of the ball, like you said, interesting offense, wing tee, not the traditional wing tee with the triple option, but wing tee, quick hitting dive back and the buck sweep stuff. And it's just something that you don't really see, certainly at the college level. And so, how did you feel like your defense held up against them? I know they started fast, but we settled in. So how did you feel?
Yeah, I thought we did settle in. And some of it is the speed of the game. They all came off after that first. Well, it's a little bit faster. As good as the scout team was in practice, they were a little bit faster, and that's to be expected. And but I thought they did well. Our first unit especially did well. We've bounced some guys around since we've lost Chase Brown, our middle safety. So we've moved around, moved Jacob Arms back to that position. So we were relatively new at the field safety, or the nickel, as I call him, the slot corner. We moved Deshaun Swafford into that position after a couple of days of practice, because that guy needs to be able to cover, needs to be able to force the run. And he did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
So he did good, And then Amari Bluford, our young freshman playing the field corner, has done good. Keegan Croteau continues to play fantastic at that boundary corner, and Tanner Steele's playing great. So that was fun to see. We're still piecing it together. It makes it tough to. My worry is it makes it tough to improve kind of what you do when you play these one-off offenses. Because this week we play another triple option team. But the bottom line is, you take the hand that's dealt you.
Absolutely.
You got to stop the guys, and that's football. And it's what everybody in the country's saying when they have to play Air Force, Army, or Navy. When do we get to play somebody normal?
Yeah.
When normal is what you get.
Yep.
So anyway, so I'm excited about that. Our defensive line continues to play very, very well. Kobe Roberts was virtually unblockable. I mean, he was really, really fantastic. And Chris Whitney is playing good, and just a bunch of guys in there. Sam Lowings is playing really good at defensive tackle. Tucker French at defensive end, and Lucas Midget, a freshman from Timberline High School, is playing. Lots of guys are playing, but I do think we're improving. That's the best part. I think we missed some tackles, but I think our tackling on the whole was better, and we have to be good, And like I said, defense is tough against good and diverse offenses that you see week in and week out. It's just tough to absolutely stuff them and shut them out. So we know that's not going to happen. So I'm pleased with where the guys are. They're playing with enthusiasm. They're playing smart. I think we're doing the right things in practice and getting ready and getting ready for the stretch run, which starts this week.
Absolutely. All right, Coach, we'll put Arizona Christian to bed. And again, great game by you guys. Awesome. Anytime you can get a Frontier Conference win, and moving on to this week, and let you dive a little bit more into Northern. Always a tough trip going up to Havre, long bus ride. Thankfully they got the new stadium now with the new field, so a nice facility that they built a couple years ago. And so, but going against a triple option and talk about the challenges there. It's such a simple offense, but a lot of challenges. So, what do you see from your defense this week?
Yeah, it's yeah, we'll see. It's a whole new game plan, which it requires that, and yet we'll try to play some of our base defense against it. You have to stop the dive, and really they force you to cover three guys all the time. So it's very much what we call in the coaching world assignment football. Everybody's got an assignment. One guy messes up his assignment, and you're in trouble. And so. They've given some people some trouble, especially with their fullback and the dive and the various ways they can get him the ball option, and then the counters off of the option. So it's going to be tough. But again, I think our defense is at least built schematically to be able to match up to defenses like that. I mean, that's one reason why I hired Coach Jewell years ago, knowing that there might be days like this where we're wing T one week, spread the next, triple option the next, and that's just the way college football is going. I think it'll go more that way, to be honest with you. I think people are very, very creative and very, very good. So like I said, it's tough to play defense. I think the best defenses in the country are struggling with how to defend all these different things and the innovation on offense. And so it's really kind of fun. I think it's a fun challenge, an adventure. I think our guys are into it, and so we're looking forward to it. The other thing about this, a very long trip, but it falls on a good week. We're not in class this week, so we get to leave a little bit earlier on Thursday and get all the way to Butte, and so we don't have that long of a trip on Friday. And the College of Idaho, it's not easy academically.
No.
Nor do I think that it should be. I love our professors. I love our academic curriculum and the way it's all set up. But our guys grind. I mean, they're in class, they're grinding, and they were exhausted at a certain time last week. Not so much physically, but it's just the mental, emotional. And it's what makes football and school and all that great. It's why guys are so employable, why they're such great guys, in my opinion. They don't complain. I'm not sure they like it all the time. I mean, it's the way it is. But
not easy, but it's worth it.
Hard. But you're a businessman now, and you'd hire guys in a second who've been through, who you've gotten to know a little bit. And so I love our guys. I love their commitment. They're in the weight room this morning. I mean, they're still doing all the things you have to do as a football team, but on top of that, they're doing all sorts of stuff.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad they get to rest up a little bit this week. At least sleep in an extra hour or two, and put the books aside for a little while. But again, I think that's strengthened our program. I don't think it's weakened our program a bit. But you still need to rest at certain times.
Well, you got some good luck falling on a long trip week, though.
Yes, absolutely. And then there's big games to follow, and I think the hardest thing to do sometimes with young, excitable guys is, let's just focus on this week. Let's just focus on this week. Let's get better this week. So that's what we're doing, and they're into it. We've had a pretty solid practice yesterday. We practice again or Tuesday, and we just got to get things done. So with the long trip, it just ramps up how fast you have to be. But people all over the country do that.
Absolutely.
NFL's playing on Thursdays and Fridays, and so it goes fast sometimes. So we're excited about that. We got smart, disciplined, great guys. So I think we're just going to get better and better. I'm excited about this weekend.
Phenomenal. Well, thanks so much for tuning in, Yote fans. Coach Moroski, appreciate your time.
Noon start, by the way.
Noon start.
Okay,
noon start.
They were kind enough to move it to noon.
Awesome. Noon start. Catch the stream. If you go to the College of Idaho football page, go to the schedule. They'll have the live watch link on there, so you guys tune in, watch the Yotes get another big win. And Coach, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Broch. Go Yotes.